Question 1. From a practical standpoint, how should Ista Patel, a senior security administrator at a financial firm, address the need for real-time threat prevention without impacting gateway performance in a high-throughput environment using checkpoint threat emulation and threat extraction? His company is experiencing severe phishing attacks through PDF-based emails, and latency is a concern for executive communication. A. Configure threat extraction in active mode and threat emulation in detect-only mode to preserve system performance. B. Disable threat emulation and rely solely on SecureXL to improve performance. C. Use MTIA-based threat prevention with threat emulation in background mode and threat extraction in sanitized delivery. D. Implement threat prevention with emulation in fail-close mode and disable threat extraction for executive emails. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. MTIA-based prevention allows scanning emails before they reach users. Threat emulation in background mode emulates files post-delivery, minimizing latency, while sanitized extraction ensures immediate save content. According to Checkpoint R Threat Prevention Admin Guide, combining background emulation with threat extraction balances security and performance. Option A. Reduces effectiveness. B. Sacrifices prevention. D. Impacts usability and may block urgent emails. Question 2. In the context of Checkpoint's layered security architecture, which of the following best describes the principal advantage of using multi-domain security management (MDESMEM) solution in multinational enterprise with diverse operational policies? It enables the automatic synchronization of all gateway policies across international domains. B. It ensures faster inspection of traffic by offloading DPI to remote domains. C. It allows centralized management with policy segmentation and delegated administration per domain. D. It eliminates the need for site-specific smart consoles and security gateways. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Multi-domain security management allows segmented, delegated control of policies across global units, each domain as separate administrators, logs, and policies, enhancing scalability and regulatory compliance. This aligns with Checkpoint segregation of duties model per ISO 27001. Option A misrepresents synchronization. B is not a supported architectural model. D misstates the infrastructure requirements. Question 3. When analyzing a scenario where Checkpoint administrators encounter inconsistent enforcement of threat prevention policies, what is the most likely cause if logs show inspection is bypassed on multiple gateways? A. The gateways have failed over to secondary management servers without revalidating contracts. B. The security policies were not published after modification. C. The contract files have expired or are not attached to the appropriate gateways. D. Policy layers were misconfigured during threat policy creation. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If threat prevention features like AVIP's threat emulation are bypassed, Checkpoint logs may indicate a contract file missing or expired. The Checkpoint licensing and contracts guide each gateway requires valid contracts for enforcement. A is invalid. Failover does not skip validation. B would prevent deployment altogether. D causes policy logic issues, but not outright bypass. Question 4. Based on the information available, is Alvarez, a Checkpoint instructor, wants to demonstrate how to implement identity-based policies for a corporate environment with frequent mobile users. Which technology stack is most suitable for enabling seamless user-based policy enforcement in such a dynamic context? A. Identity awareness with ad query and browser-based authentication. B. LDAP-based SSO with mobile access blade and IP spoofing detection. C. Identity awareness with captive portal and terminal server agent. D. Identity collector with Kerberos SSO and remote access VPN blade. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. For mobile dynamic users, Identity Collector plus Kerberos SSO ensures seamless, scalable integration with AD, while remote access VPN securely links offsite users. Refer to our Identity Awareness Admin Guide. A. Lacks resilience for dynamic IPs. B. Is conceptually invalid. IP spoofing detection is unrelated. C. Better suits static shared environments ICHR DS. Question 5. During the process of troubleshooting an intermittent site-to-site VPN between New York and Singapore gateways, Chen observes frequent Phase 2 renegotiation failures. Logs indicate mismatched subnet objects despite identical encryption domain definitions. What is the most plausible root cause? A. Anti-spoofing settings on the remote gateway are misconfigured. B. Interoperable device settings enforce strict subnet matching not reflected in Smart Console. C. One site is using a different VPN community definition with conflicting ICAV timers. D. NAT is disabled on one gateway, preventing traversal through firewalls. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Mismatches often arise when the interoperable device, third party, requires exact subnet definition, unlike Checkpoint's flexible approach. Or FC4301 mandates strict matching in some vendors. Smart Console may visually align definitions, but actual subnets differ due to object nesting. A and C affect routing or ICE timing, not Phase 2 negotiation. D impacts transport, not subnet match. Question 6. To illustrate this point, consider that Is Grace, a performance analyst, observes that SecureXO is enabled on a checkpoint gateway, yet traffic inspection seems unoptimized. Upon review, she notes that the connection table is not being accelerated. Which of the following best explains this behavior? A. The coaxial distribution mode is configured to automatic instead of per connection. B. The firewall rule base includes rules with any service and log or action. C. SecureXO templates are bypassed due to use of non-accelerated services or rule tracking. D. The inspection settings are set to basic instead of recommended in Smart Console. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. SecureXO templates are bypassed when non-accelerated services, the HES with content inspection, or rules with login tracking are used. Templates require static matching, no dynamic objects, and simple actions. According to our performance tuning guide, detailed tracking logging disables templating. A is related to coaxial, not SecureXO. B can slow logging but doesn't disable acceleration. D impacts inspection depth, not SecureXO specifically. Question 7. While examining policy behavior across multiple gateways, Ibrahim notes that changes to a shared layer in a policy package are not reflected in all gateways. He confirms the policies were published. What step is he likely missing? A. Pushing the policy package to each target gateway. B. Publishing the session using SmartLog before committing changes. C. Running the install database command on each cluster member. D. Enabling global policy override for each policy package. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Publishing saves the session to the database, but policy must still be pushed to each target gateway for enforcement. According to our security management admin guide, publish equals install. B is incorrect to SmartLog is for visibility, not policy. C is climb method for sync, not pushing policies. D refers to global. Policy layers irrelevant here. Question 8. Taking into account the need for scalability, which deployment strategy is most appropriate for a checkpoint environment requiring high availability and administrative separation between different departments, e.g., HR, finance? A. Deploy multiple Smart Consoles for each department with a shared management server. B. Configure one management server with multiple administrator accounts and permission profiles. C. Use multi-domain server with individual domain management servers per department. D. Set up separate security gateways for each department with their own standalone deployment. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. For departmental separation with high scalability, multi-domain security management is the enterprise solution. It supports multiple domain management servers (DMS) under a single NDS. This aligns with RBAC and policy segregation principles per NIST 80053. A. Misrepresents Smart Console use. B. Lacks scalability. D. Leads to siloed, unmanageable infrastructure. Question 9. To what extent does providing constructive feedback during technical training sessions help in reinforcing complex concepts like firewall rule-based logic or NAT precedents? A. Feedback interrupts learners' flow and should be minimized. B. Feedback should be postponed until after the session ends to allow uninterrupted delivery. C. Immediate feedback reinforces conceptual understanding and promotes adaptive learning. D. Feedback should only be provided when learners ask questions. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Immediate constructive feedback is a core principle of adult learning Knowles theory. It allows learners to self-correct and adapt their understanding, especially with layered concepts like NAT precedence or policy logic. Delayed or passive feedback as in A, B, or D reduces learning effectiveness and engagement. Question 10. With respect to ethical standards in training delivery, which action best demonstrates integrity and professionalism during checkpoint certification instruction? A. Allowing students to record exam answers for post-class discussion. B. Sharing additional real-life firewall dumps from a production client to enhance realism. C. Presenting courseware without unauthorized modification and disclosing lab limitations transparently. D. Encouraging learners to explore unauthorized resources for deeper insight. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Ethical instruction requires compliance with official courseware, respecting copyright and exam integrity. ISOIC 17024 Checkpoint Partner Code of Ethics. Unauthorized materials, as in A, B, D, breach confidentiality and intellectual property. Transparency about lab limitations and maintaining course integrity align with instructor professionalism. Question 11. Under the assumption that multiple overlapping subnets exist between internal business units, ISTA Santiago configures manual NAT rules to segment traffic for logging and auditing. However, during validation, packets are not being nated as expected. What could be a plausible cause, assuming the rules appear correct in Smart Console? A. The automatic NAT rules are taking precedence over the manual rules. B. The NAT rules were defined in the wrong section after the automatic rules. C. Manual rules require enabling hide NAT globally for rule matching to function. D. The firewall kernel does not support multiple manual NAT entries for the same IP range. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Checkpoint evaluates manual NAT rules before automatic NAT rules, but only if correctly placed above automatic rules in the NAT policy. If placed after, they're ignored. The NAT guide states manual rules are processed in order. A is only true if manual rules are improperly ordered. C is irrelevant. Hide NAT is defined per rule. D is incorrect. Manual NAT supports multiple mappings with careful rule definition. Question 12. In comparison with legacy logging systems, what distinct advantage does Smart Event offer when analyzing potential lateral movement of a threat actor within a corporate network? A. It integrates AI-based behavior analytics to track lateral movement. B. It creates real-time event correlations across different logs and blades. C. It provides an endpoint agent to block internal threats. D. It tunnels logs directly to a sandbox for threat emulation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Smart Event performs real-time event correlation from various sources, firewall, VPN, threat prevention, to identify patterns indicative of lateral movement. According to the Smart Event admin guide, this correlation helps detect multi-stage attacks. A is false. AF features are limited. C confuses endpoint protection, harmony. D misrepresents sandboxing. Logs that not tunnel for emulation. Question 13. Throughout the course of teaching, a Checkpoint CSA bootcamp, Naomi notices students struggle to grasp the logic behind rule-based matching. Which instructional method would best enhance comprehension for adult learners in this context? A. Assigning additional memorization tasks using rule matching flowcharts. B. Delivering extended lectures with detailed command line outputs. C. Engaging learners in hands-on lab simulating rule-based processing using packet captures. D. Asking learners to read aloud policy examples from the admin guide. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Adult learning principles Knowles, Bloom emphasize active learning. Simulating traffic through hands-on labs with packet captures fosters deeper understanding of rule-based flow and shadowing. A. Promotes rote learning. B. Lacks interaction. D. Is passive and ineffective for comprehension. Checkpoint instructor methodology encourages interactive, real-world labs. Question 14. Considering the evidence, what is the most effective way for an instructor to handle dominant participants in a checkpoint workshop who frequently interrupt others during technical discussions? A. Ignore the behavior to avoid confrontation and continue teaching. B. Privately inform the participant after the session to maintain classroom dynamics. C. Reprimand the student during the session to restore authority. D. Politely redirect the discussion and balance participation by asking others to contribute. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. The best practice in classroom management is to maintain a positive learning environment by redirecting and balancing participation. Checkpoint Instructor Best Practices Guide. A. Enables continued disruption. B. Is delayed and ineffective in the moment. C. Risks embarrassment and negativity. Real-time, respectful redirection ensures inclusivity and maintains instructor credibility. Question 15. When evaluating the merits of different configuration methods in Gaia OS, what is the primary advantage of using the WebUI over the CLI for junior administrators in a newly established SOC environment? A. WebUI supports real-time scripting and traffic manipulation. B. WebUI logs all changes to syslog with rollback capability. C. WebUI provides a user-friendly interface with visual guidance and confirmation prompts. D. WebUI automatically syncs configurations across all cluster members. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Gaia WebUI is designed for ease of use, ideal for junior admins, with visual cues, guided wizards, and confirmation prompts to reduce errors. Gaia Admin Guide. A is incorrect. Real-time scripting is CLI-based. B overstates functionality. The rollback must be manually configured. D is false. Cluster sync is handled separately via cluster settings, not WebUI. Question 16. From multiple perspectives, why is it recommended to enable the state synchronization between cluster checkpoint gateways in high availability configuration? A. It allows administrators to bypass failover in case of traffic loss. B. It synchronizes licenses across HA cluster members. C. It ensures connection states are preserved during failover, reducing user session interruption. D. It enables asymmetric routing across the cluster without any policy changes. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. State synchronization ensures connection tables are mirrored across cluster members so failover is seamless. Without it, connections drop and sessions reset, violating availability principle or FC 793 checkpoint cluster or admin guide. A is incorrect. Failover logic is automatic. B. Misstates licensing behavior. D. Asymmetric routing still requires manual configuration. Question 17. The core principles of effective technical instruction emphasize clarity. How should an instructor explain the concept of implicit denying, a security policy to a mixed experience audience during a checkpoint course? Use a real-world metaphor. G. A locked door followed by lab verification. B. List rule-based logic without visual representation to ensure neutrality. C. Assume prior knowledge and move to more complex topics. D. Focus solely on theoretical explanation to maintain consistency. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Using analogies. E.g. locked doors combined with live lab verification simplifies abstract logic like implicit deny. Is matches dual coding theory and adult learning best practices. B. Lacks engagement. C. Ignores varied experience. D. Fails to promote hands-on understanding. Checkpoint recommends using metaphors, diagrams, and labs for clarity. Question 18. Given the circumstances, what is the most suitable method for assessing conceptual understanding of VPN tunnel troubleshooting among advanced learners? A. Multiple choice quiz based on encryption algorithms. B. Memorization of Phase 1 and Phase 2 messages. C. Scenario-based troubleshooting requiring interpretation of log files. D. Asking learners to explain all key EPN commands from memory. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Scenario-based troubleshooting replicates real-world complexity and promotes analytical skills. According to Bloom's taxonomy, applying and analyzing logs deepens understanding. A and B. Emphasize rote recall. D. Is ineffective without context. Checkpoint Instructor best practices encourage contextual hands-on assessments. Question 19. With respect to rule-based best practices, what is the most effective way to reduce policy shadowing and increase readability in a rapidly growing enterprise rule base? A. Use global rules at the top to cover all potential traffic flows. B. Consolidate rules by using groups and ordered layers. C. Disable logs for all non-critical services to reduce complexity. D. Duplicate rules across gateways to ensure redundancy. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Using groups and ordered layers streamlines the rule base, reduces shadowing, and improves clarity. PAR security policy best practices. This allows modular, scalable policy creation. A. Risks over permissiveness. C. Hinders visibility. D. Causes unnecessary duplication and admin overhead. Question 20. The growing trend in certification training has led some instructors to share pirated courseware or leaked exam questions. Which of the following best aligns with Checkpoint instructor ethical standards and global certification integrity guidelines? A. Using unofficial labs to simulate new features not in official training. B. Promoting open source tools that replicate exam simulations. C. Only using and customizing authorized Checkpoint courseware. D. Sharing high quality brain dumps to enhance test preparation. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Checkpoint mandates the exclusive use of authorized materials, respecting intellectual property and certification integrity. Checkpoint certified instructor code of ethics ISO 17024 A may violate licensing terms. B. Misrepresents approved tools. D. Directly violates exam integrity. Question 21. When faced with a scenario where multiple administrators need to perform overlapping tasks on a checkpoint environment, what is the best way to ensure administrative actions do not conflict or cause configuration inconsistencies? A. Assign all administrators the same full access permissions to speed up tasks. B. Use role-based access control RBAC with clearly defined permissions for each admin role. C. Restrict administrative access to a single individual to avoid conflicts. D. Require all admins to work sequentially and log out after each task. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Checkpoints RBAC enforces separation of duties by assigning tailored permissions, reducing conflicts and increasing auditability. R. Security management guide. A. Risks errors and lack of accountability. C. Reduces efficiency and is impractical. D. Is inefficient and lacks enforced control. Question 22. Given the circumstances of a multinational company requiring site-to-site PPNS with multiple encryption algorithms for compliance, what is the recommended approach to ensure interoperability without compromising security? A. Use the strongest algorithm only and force all sites to comply strictly. B. Configure VPN communities with fallback proposals to support multiple encryption suites. C. Disable automatic negotiation and manually configure Phase 1 and Phase 2 parameters uniformly. D. Use a single gateway per site to simplify encryption management. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. VPN communities with fallback proposals allow negotiation of multiple algorithms, enhancing interoperability while maintaining security standards. RFC 7296. A. Reduces flexibility. C. Is error-prone and complex. D. Limits redundancy and scalability. Question 23. Demonstrated by recent audits, what is the impact on security features if a checkpoint gateway's license contract is approaching expiration but not yet expired? Or licensed blades continue to operate without interruption until expiration. B. Some advanced features may be disabled proactively as warning. C. Licenses revert to evaluation mode with restricted functionality. D. The gateway automatically stops inspecting traffic to prevent violations. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Checkpoint licenses remain fully functional until the expiration date without proactive feature disabling. Checkpoint licensing best practices B and C do not happen pre-expiry. D would cause unnecessary network disruption. Question 24. In what ways can enabling identity awareness improve security posture in an environment with frequent remote user logins through VPN? A. It logs users off after VPN disconnects to free resources. B. It dynamically applies policies based on user identity rather than IP address. C. It requires users to authenticate via external tokens only. D. It restricts all remote VPA users to a single security group. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Identity awareness ties policies to user identity, enabling granular control over access irrespective of IP changes typical for VPA users. R. Identity awareness guide. A is unrelated. C is a separate authentication feature. D is restrictive and impractical. Question 25. Taking into account complex network architectures, what is the primary reason for utilizing policy layers in checkpoint security management? A. To create separate policies for each gateway that never overlap. B. To enable administrators to apply and test incremental policy changes without affecting global rules. C. To allow bypassing of default rules in emergency situations. D. To reduce the overall number of rules by merging multiple policies. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Policy layers enable incremental policy development and testing by overlaying specific rules without disrupting the core policy, facilitating agile management. Checkpoint R. Policy layering documentation. A. Misrepresents usage. C. Is not a design function. D. Policy layering increases clarity, not rule count reduction. Question 26. When analyzing a performance issue on a gateway using CoreXL, what could cause some CPU cores to remain underutilized despite heavy traffic? A. The SecureXL feature is disabled, limiting acceleration. B. CoreXL is set to automatic distribution mode with uneven traffic patterns. C. Gateway is running on an outdated hardware that doesn't support CoreXL. D. CoreXL requires manual binding of processors' TPU cores, which is misconfigured. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. CoreXL automatic distribution mode dynamically assigns connections to cores, but with uneven traffic or asymmetric routing, some cores may stay underutilized. Checkpoint CoreXL performance guide. A. Affects SecureXL only. C. Is hardware limitation but not CoreXL configuration. D. Is incorrect. A CoreXL managed CPU finishes internally. Question 27. How might one explain a scenario where packets from a trusted internal subnet are being dropped by the checkpoint firewall despite matching allow rule A? The firewall's implicit deny at the end of the rule base overrides explicit allow rules. B. Anti-spoofing protections detect mismatches between source IP and expected interface, causing drops. C. The gateway's licensing restrictions prevent certain internal traffic types. D. The logs are incorrectly displaying dropped packets due to software bug. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Anti-spoofing blocks traffic where the source IP does not match the interface's expected subnet. Key security feature. Checkpoint Gaia admin guide. A is false as explicit allow rules precede implicit deny. C. Licensing does not restrict internal traffic. D. Is unlikely in stable releases. Question 20. The fundamental question is, when preparing for a checkpoint course, how should instructors balance between sharing practical industry knowledge and adhering to proprietary course content? A. Prioritize proprietary course content exclusively to avoid any risk of breach. B. Incorporate real-world experience only if it does not contradict or reveal proprietary exam content. C. Share all industry insights freely, even if outside official materials, to enhance learner value. D. Avoid any content not found in the official course URL. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Instructors must respect proprietary content but enhance learning by sharing general industry insights that do not compromise exam integrity or checkpoint IP. Instructor Code of Ethics. A. Limits learning. C. Risks violation. D. Is too restrictive. Question 29. Given a diverse audience with varying technical backgrounds, which approach best exemplifies effective course customization for a checkpoint security training? A. Deliver the course strictly as per official syllabus without deviation. B. Just examples and lab complexity dynamically to suit the learner's expertise. C. Focus only on theoretical aspects and remove labs for simplicity. D. Skip foundational topics to save time for advanced learners. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Effective customization involves adapting delivery and labs based on learner feedback and skill level, improving engagement and retention. Adult learning principles. Checkpoint. Instructor guide. A. Ignores learner needs. C. Reduces practical skills. D. Risks knowledge gaps. Question 30. In light of recent developments in cluster XOR configurations, why is it critical to synchronize NAT and VPN state tables between cluster members in a checkpoint HA cluster? A. To avoid the need for license synchronization across cluster members. B. To ensure seamless failover without interrupting encrypted sessions or NAT translations. C. To enable parallel inspection of traffic on all cluster members simultaneously. D. To prevent the cluster members from using the same IP addresses on different interfaces. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Synchronizing NAT and VPN state tables ensures sessions maintain continuity during failover, preventing drops or resets in encrypted tunnels and translated connections. Checkpoint COSTEX or best practices. A is unrelated. C. Misrepresents active-active behavior. D. Concerns network config, not state sync.